So our investigation team has been working round the clock for the last 7 days, and obviously some of the really early inquiries will be those ports alerts, and that will form one of the actions that the team will take. We're keeping an open mind about where he's gone. We're obviously following the evidence, but we are making sure that anything that we need to do in terms of our European colleagues and the borders is in place.
John, could I just ask?
Sorry, some of the people that we've been speaking to on the street say it's a joke. A week. This is the most highly dense CCTV city in the world, and this man's evaded us. The Met says that it's got the technology to track people down, facial recognition systems, and all that sort of stuff. Why can't you find him?
Well, as I've said previously in earlier releases, we have his car, we have his phone, and he's not used any of his banking. So they are 3 key lines of inquiry that most manhunts would have. So we are very reliant on the public and continue to appeal to the public to come forward with any information that they've got about where Ezedi is, who's looking after him, and what we can do then is take very quick action. You're quite right, there is a lot of surveillance in London. However, if he's holed up somewhere and not out and about, it's going to make it quite difficult to find him. We've got hundreds and hundreds of officers working round the clock, following the CCTV. We have now continued to look through that CCTV and got him at just after 11 o'clock on the Vauxhall Bridge, onto Vauxhall Bridge Road. I have to reiterate that it's a very meticulous and careful piece of work to follow all of those movements on CCTV, because as you can imagine, if you miss something, you take a wrong turning or you identify someone else that isn't Ezedi, it will send you off down a rabbit hole. So we have to be very, very careful about following the CCTV, but we are tracking him and we will continue to track him.
And his injuries could be fatal.
Sorry, Oliver, I'm sorry, someone else has to have a turn now. Apologies. Commander Saville, could I please ask you, how significant do you think Ezedi's injuries are?
Well, as we have all seen on the CCTV images, he's got a very significant, what appears to be burn mark on his face. Now, we have, through the NCA, been in contact with medical experts about what the impact of that will be. Clearly, without any medical intervention, that could prove to be very serious, if not fatal. Infection is an obvious thing that could possibly happen, which is why, I am appealing to Abdul that he needs to come forward to get that medical attention and to hand himself in.
And how is the victim currently?
Well, we're 7 days on, as you know. She's still sedated, she's still very poorly, and we've not been able to speak to her. And our thoughts are with her in terms of her making a recovery.
And could you just tell us about their relationship?
Well, we have determined through our inquiries that they were in a relationship and that the relationship appears to have broken down.
Can you tell us about how the meeting between the two of them came about and why the woman and her 2 children got into the car?
Well, we're still working on that because obviously we've not been able to speak to her or him. The children were able to give us a little bit of an account about what went on, but we're taking a great deal of care in how we are approaching the children for obvious reasons. So there's not a great deal that I can release to you at the moment about exactly the movements that evening just before the attack. We do know that they were arranging to meet and that they did get in the car and that the attack took place in the car, as you will have seen from the CCTV.
So did he drive down from Newcastle at her request?
We haven't got to clarify that just yet, but he did drive down from Newcastle that morning and they did meet that afternoon.
How embarrassing is it for the Met not to have a clue where he is, to depend on the public on this? I mean, for somebody who's been in policing for so long, to not have somebody in custody after 7 days, that's a bit of a damning indictment, isn't it?
I'm not sure it's a damning indictment. I mean, we are taking it incredibly serious. This is an attempted murder investigation with all of the assets that we need in place to be able to find someone. It's a significant manhunt. We have to go where the evidence takes us. Yes, we would much like to have got him into custody already, but we will track him down.